Clock in, clock in. Black guy that just walked in.
Yeah. He already dead, there ain't no need to check his vitals, bitch. He already dead, there ain't no need to check his vitals. Yeah, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. Let go, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. Yeah, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. Let go, crunch time, yeah, nigga, it's lunch time. He dead.
Team Black gotta stand up, man. Yeah. Alright, gang. We just seen the prosecutors in their very mid presentation, bro. She did say stuff that made sense, but if her whole presentation was based on her just showing us facts that the stories that were told don't add up, she didn't even have to do that presentation, because like we all kind of knew the story ain't gonna be 100% accurate due to the seriousness of the whole situation. You feel me? Let's see how Melly's lawyer attacked the situation. Let's see how he could come back for that mid presentation prosecutor just did, man.
Prosecutors are given great power, endless resources to perform their mission of pursuing justice. But that's not what occurred here.
What happened?
What they will bring you is a case that is riddled with reasonable doubt.
Say it ain't so. Cause she was talking about the case is riddled with bullets. You talking about the case unriddled with unreasonable doubt. Hold up, boy. Hold up. He's 26 seconds. I'm talking about his head is shining. He up to something.
Founded on an incompetent and incomplete investigation.
Incompetence, okay.
And the exercise of poor judgment at every turn.
Poor judgment. Ain't no way.
The state cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt the allegations that they have made.
Fam, why Shorty looking at you like that? Like she don't like what you doing, fam. She's like, how you defending him? It's crazy.
There is a reason for that. You recall Miss Bradley, some of you may recall, during jury selection, going to great lengths to let you know that she does not have to prove motive. And she's right about that. The law doesn't require her to prove motive. But you
why
know what
not? That's kind of crazy. I feel like in situations like this, especially when it involves defendant and their best friend with an S at the end, I feel like there should be some type of motive in play. Cause like, come on now, I understand if it was a random shooting that just happened out of nowhere, okay. Yeah, he just crazy, he just bust people. We don't need no motive. We just know you just be tripping. But somebody do something, somebody that close to them, they know or whatever. Like, why you did that for? You just woke up that morning tripping? Like, you a little bit too hot out you. You need milk. But I'm pretty sure the court's got their reason, but damn.
A young man to wake up one day and decide that he's going to kill two of his best friends.
That's what they wanted to believe.
Best friends that he grew up with.
That's what they wanted to believe.
Best friends that he hangs out with. Best friends who he lives with. Best friends whose careers he was trying to launch alongside his own. They have no reason for why he would do this. Because there is no reason. And if there's no reason, it doesn't make sense. And if after 4 years of investigation, the state comes and says, hey, he killed two of his friends, his best friends, and you're wondering why, and their answer is, oh, I don't know. That's the first indication that they're just guessing and don't know what they're talking.
I mean, they basically admitted that they don't know what happened. They basically been said that since the beginning of what she was talking about. They been said they don't know. They just assuming.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, by itself
scares me.
Is reasonable doubt. Why he would commit such a heinous crime against his own two best friends for no reason.
Lawyer coming in strong already, boy. Boy, snapping.
What happened here is that the lead detective, Detective Moretti, saw a video of Mr. Demons getting into a car 40 plus minutes before bodies were found in that car. And then he discovered that Mr. Demons
That's a lot of time,
was
y'all.
a rising star. And from that point on, he decided he's the only person that could have committed this crime. Because if you're involved in prosecuting a star, you become a star. This was his big break. And he had tunnel vision, and he zeroed in on this person, this young man, as the only possible perpetrator of that crime, to the exclusion of all other leads and evidence. There's a difference between cases that are investigated and cases that are fabricated. When a case is investigated, the state uses all its resources, its investigators, its experts, and all its energy to identify leads and run them to ground. When a case is fabricated, first a target is chosen, and then the state uses all its resources, its investigators, its experts, and its energy to run that target into the ground.
Damn, that's what they did. They got Melly first, then went and got the evidence. That's crazy.
That's what occurred here,
Whoa.
and there's a reason why I say that. There are a number of leads that you will discover that were identified by the officers but were either completely ignored or given short shrift. I'm going to let you know, run through a few of them by way of example. Start with the most obvious one. Cortland Henry. Now, Ms. Bradley started her opening statement by describing some of the lies that he told, as though to impute them to Mr. Demons. Those were not Mr. Demons' lies, those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two dead bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, gunpowder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm.
What?
And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket. Not Cortland Henry. There were 3 phones in that car. There were 3 people in that car.
What's going on here, bro?
So they take him at his word, despite suspicious circumstances, and they let him go on his way. They soon discover that he's lying about the location of this incident, and they went back to him, and they label him a victim. And they said, we know you're scared. Tell us what happened. He lies to them again. They let him go.
He's proving that Melly is initially a target. I'm thinking, like, what the heck is the lawyer doing? Because it's like, you know, Boiler is Melly homeboy. Because it sounds like you trying to put Boiler under the bus. But then again, he's really not. He's really just trying to show how much the investigators, you know, look past any other evidence they could have been locked in on and just locked in on Melly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they know where he went. They know the location that he went. They know the house that he went to right after, and any investigator worth his salt would have thought to maybe execute a search warrant on that location to see if you find any bloody clothes, Any DNA? Any blood? A weapon, maybe? You guys are probably familiar with the series First 48. That's founded on the proposition that if you botch an investigation within the first 48 hours, you've pretty much botched it for good. It's 48 months plus later. They still haven't served a search warrant on that location. Why? Moretti already had his man. What's the point of an investigation? To find out what happened. He's using all his resources to try and prove what he has already concluded did happen. So, after Cortland Henry, lead number 2, a gentleman named Montrell Roll, and his sister, Nia Hewitt. Who are they? Well, another police department came into possession of jail calls between those two that occurred within 3 days after the murders, and discussed what they describe as intimate details of the murders. Intimate details means details that are not in the public domain. So 3 days after, these two people are discussing the details of a murder. They go out and interview Miss Hewitt. They don't interview Mr. Roll. And they ask her, well, how did you know all these intimate details? Oh, I heard it, something to the effect of I word on the street. Doesn't say when she heard it. Doesn't say who she heard it from. Case closed. They move on. That's lead number 2. That was ignored. Then there's Robert Coburn. Who is he? He is a gentleman that owns a social media account by the name of Backwards. This social media account, almost immediately, within days after these murders, posts this message: LOL, we killed 2 of your niggas. Oh, really? Took him 7 months to go and talk to Mr. Coburn, the owner of this account, that posts what amounts to an unequivocal confession to involvement in that murder, in those murders. 7 months. Why? Moretti already had his guy. And when they go and talk to Mr. Coburn, what does he say? He said, oh, I created that account and I sold it for $20 to somebody else. Who'd you sell it to? Oh, I can't remember. Were you at the murder scene? No. Did you do it? No. Case closed. That's it. No more investigation. It would occur to a reasonable person, let alone a seasoned investigator acting in good faith. Why would somebody buy an Instagram account when you can create one for free on your own?
That bitch better have 1 million followers on it, goddamn.
If not to hide your identity. And if somebody goes to the trouble of buying an Instagram account to hide their identity and then confesses to a murder that you're investigating, maybe you ought to go and figure out who that person is and talk to them. And maybe there is no such person. Maybe it was not sold. Why would somebody create an Instagram account and sell it for $20?
$20.
And if he's in the business of doing that,
oh yeah, he had 2 followers.
that's of interest. And how would anybody know to go to him to buy an Instagram account?
That boy hitting these joints on
These
the
are all
head.
unanswered questions. No investigation. Case closed.
They feel like they
Let's
got their
move
dude.
David Hedgepath. Who is he, you might wonder?
Who is that?
He had a Twitter account called Crucial Almighty. He posts a confession to this murder. Something to the effect of, we coming at that Jeep. Can't remember the quote. You're going to hear about it. And essentially it was a confession to involvement in the murders. It took them a year and a half to go and talk to him. They knew about it a year and a half earlier. It took them a year and a half to go and talk to him. Why do you do that unless you've already concluded that you know
That the
who committed the crime?
Yeah,
You've
sure.
already determined who your defendant will be.
is him.
And when they go to this young man and ask him, well, actually before, this is a year and a half before, they said, oh, we've determined that he was just trying to start an internet beef to advance his career. Who told him that? Without talking to a soul. So it took them a year and a half to go down there and track him down. And when they do go and track him down, they say, hey, did you commit the murder? No. Were you in the area? No. Where were you? Well, I could have been at work. At work where? Any one of 3 places. Okay, could you give me a work schedule? As though that would prove anything. He says, well, I can get it now. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Just email it to me. Really? And he doesn't even do that. There is no report that he even follows up and sends them an email of this mysterious work schedule proving that he wasn't at the location. They conclude, oh, he's not there, wasn't him, case closed. Is that how we do this now?
Apparently.
That's not all. There are several other people who are potential suspects who were not tracked down. You are going to hear about them during the course of this trial. But beyond that, 3 years after arresting this young man and sticking him in a cell, the state looks at its case and says, oh man, this looks a little incompetent. Miramar police seems to have botched this investigation, and they call the Broward Sheriff's Office and ask them to come and look at the investigation upon which this entire prosecution rests. And he looks at it, and he says he instantly knew he had to start from scratch. I think his words were, it was the worst thing I had seen in my life. This is the Broward Sheriff's Office evaluating the work product of the Miramar Police Department. And we have problems with the Broward Sheriff's Office redo as well, but you're going to hear about that during the course of this trial. Ladies and gentlemen, the murder of anybody and the murder of these 2 young men was a tragedy. You're not here to solve a crime. That's their job, and they have botched it. Jurors often get confused as to their mission. You can't do a job unless you know what that job is. Every civil society needs to have a prosecutorial arm prosecuting crimes and offenses. That's a noble pursuit. There's nothing wrong with that. And every country does it. In some countries, the prosecutor decides who the person is, they send a cop to go arrest him, they throw him in jail, that's the end of it. We don't do that in this country. what we do is we ask, are you sure about what you're talking about?
Are you?
That's the purpose of this proceeding. The Demons, you're here to judge the sufficiency of the state's case. That is your assignment. You're not here for a show to see who you like more. There are two grades, beyond a reasonable doubt and not guilty. A plus, everything else is an F. There's no A's, there's no A minuses.
Same.
You are akin to an FDA lab. Imagine a company saying, we're going to put on the market fat-free milk. And the lab, their mission is to determine whether or not there is fat in the milk. And what do they look for? They don't look for milk. They look for fat. The state is telling you they have a state that is free of reasonable doubt. You're not here looking for proof. You're here looking for doubt. And if you're off looking for the wrong thing, you're going to miss what you are here to look for. They have no motive. Their entire case is hinged upon the technology of a phone they claim to have been in Mr. DeMond's possession. What they fail to tell you is that they have come across evidence that Mr. DeMond got out of that car before this incident. They ignore that because it's not consistent with their theory. What they fail to tell you is that phone comes back to the name of somebody other than Jamal DeMond. What they forgot to tell you is that their own witness will tell you that yes, that phone and Mr. Williams' phone and a number of other phones were all in the same account, and all of the people in the house used to use them interchangeably. But they're assigning it to him because that is consistent with their theories. They don't follow leads. They have no motive. Investigation was botched. The investigation, as a matter of fact, is still going on as we speak, up to a couple months ago. Yet they're here telling you they have proof beyond a reasonable doubt and what you're still investigating for. The job of the state is to prove it beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. And if you're a reasonable person and you have doubt, that's reasonable doubt. There's a song called Things That Make You Go, If you say that's reasonable doubt.
Did I just say, Look how she looking like that. Boy, you ain't done yet. She looking like, boy, you going back in the notebook. Hurry up, finish, boy.
Miss Bradley is
Tell
charming.
me, boy.
She's good at her job.
She cooking tonight, boy. Trying to go
This
home.
is not a popularity contest.
It look like it.
We don't give, hey, good effort. We don't give participation awards. This man's life is hanging in the balance. And if there is a scintilla of reasonable doubt, you must have the courage to speak up and say so. You're not here to judge him. You're here to judge the sufficiency of their case.
Investigation, for sure.
They have a big task in front of them.
Let
Should
them
probably get to it.
let him get to it. Oh, that boy Eddie, oh, he played that. How many times you did that in front of the mirror? They gotta get to it. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, bro. I'm stuck. Now, what he did say at the end, you can see him basically looking dead in the jury's soul. Cause like the jury is regular people, fam. Like regular people, they just hit up, come through citizens, and you feel me? They determine what happened. Fam is looking at the jury, like y'all listening to what they saying, they got no facts. And that's facts. Cause they ain't got no facts. You feel me? Not to say what she was saying did not make sense. A lot of the stuff she did say made sense. You feel me? If y'all seen the last video, prosecutor was snapping. It did make sense. But where the facts at? We understand the story is not adding up. Where's the facts? Yes, I believe you, but I do have doubt. And he did make a point at the end, like where he was like, yeah, if you have any doubt at all, let that sizzle in your spirit. You know what I'm saying? He talking to the folks in their soul. So if you feel any doubt and you're a reasonable person, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? But man, I ain't gonna lie. He delivered for sure, man. But only thing we could do is see what happened next, man. Catch y'all in the next video. I'm gone.